All right. My internet just went down. I don't know if you guys are still with me. My internet just went down. For like a minute. That was really annoying. I looked up and like my whole internet just died on me. So I don't know what happened there. This is sweet. I just love the internet sometimes. Yeah, all right. So hopefully everyone gets back in. Which is actually a lot better at it than YouTube. Like when I live stream on Twitch, it'll just kind of pick up the connection, but like YouTube basically creates a whole new video, which is annoying. So hopefully everyone makes it back. Oh, okay. I'll wait for a few people to come back. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know why my internet just literally just took a shit. Hopefully everyone makes it back. Yeah, it's really weird, Eric. So like, if you go to my YouTube channel right now, there is a 45-minute stream, which is like the first stream before it cut off. And now this stream is like a new video. So there's like now 2 videos on YouTube for this stream. Whereas Twitch, it like, man, I'm watching the like network. So I don't know if you guys have used OBS before. Hey, Richard. But basically there's like a color-coded square that tells your upload kilobytes, and when it's green, so normally I upload around 4,700 kilobytes per second, and it stays in the green. And right now it's like dropping. It's like going from like 4,800 down to like 2,000, and the icon's going from green to yellow to red. So I might drop again, unfortunately. I don't know what's going on with the internet, but it's not my PC for sure. It's definitely the internet, because yeah, anyways. Okay, so what I was saying, hopefully everyone's back. We just lost a bunch of people in the rigmarole. Let's see here. Damn you, YouTube. Let's see what's going on. God damn it. Okay. So yeah, so there's like a 45-minute first stream playing. So anyways, that's frustrating. Oh well, all right, I'll just keep going because not much I can do about it. Anyway, sorry. So what I was saying was, whenever I get a new codex, I go through this I guess phase where I read a list and then I'm like, this is the best list for this army. Like I nailed it. First shot, I think I got the best list out of this book. And then either over time or just like staring at it, I like refine that and I'm like, no. Or like I see other people's lists and I'm like, oh fuck. You know, I missed something. Now this is the best list. Like I don't know. I just like always assume that I can like basically write the best list right out of the gates, and that I know what all the good choices are, and that like my choices are the only choice, and that like people shouldn't take anything else. Like that happens quite a bit. And I don't know. It's kind of it's a weird mindset. I don't know why I do it. Like why my brain works that way. But I'm always like, oh yeah, like Cult of Time is the best cult. No other cults are worth it. Like it's not even worth like looking at them. And then like 2 days later, I'm like, fuck, this other cult is actually way better. I don't know why I ever thought Cult of Time was good. You know what I'm saying? Like my brain is just like so like it's almost like bipolar when it comes to that stuff. It's kind of funny though. It's because so and to give you an example, I was like convinced. I've been totally convinced for the last like few weeks or since the book came out that Armen, Exalted on Disc, and Infernal Master, if you're running like a single detachment, is like I've been convinced the Athenian scrolls are the best relic. I've been convinced that like Exalted on Disc is like a must-have with the Athenian scrolls because it's so good with like say Tzeentch's Firestorm. So I've been convinced of this, and nothing has like talked me out of it. But now I'm like starting to like think like, well, maybe it's not the best, you know? Maybe Athenian scrolls on an Exalted on Disc is not like the best caster that you should take, you know, in Cult of Time specifically. So I've been starting to think about other things, right? Like other characters, and I'm starting to warm up a lot to the Combat Demon Prince. So that's a Demon Prince with a Conniving Plate and Undying Form, so -1 damage. Like that's really started to like, I guess, bubble a bit in my head. That's something that maybe I want to run in every list because it seems like it's a great toolbox character. You know, 2 casts, fast, 4+ invuln, flies, and then really, really beefy in combat. Like I can use them as a combat threat. Whereas an Exalted doesn't really have the combat abilities, or I don't really want to put him into combat because he's a lot more fragile. So like that's the kind of stuff that like my brain goes through, where I'm like, yeah, Exalted with Athenian scrolls every game. It's got to be in every list, otherwise your list sucks. And the Cult of Time, so he gets like 3 casts a turn with the Warlord trait. And now I'm like, fuck Cult of Time. I've been thinking a lot about Cult of Magic actually. One thing that I, especially for character killing, so one thing that people aren't really thinking about with Cult of Magic, is that for Astral Blast, which is their special spell, it's 12 inches. You pick a unit, everything, the unit takes D3 mortals, and then everything within 3 takes a mortal, right? But the thing is, most characters are within 3 of their units, which means if they have like a central unit or a few central units that are screening, right? Then you can use the Astral Blast. Like say they have like 2 characters or 3 characters within 3 inches of that unit, and I'm looking at you, Admech, with those big blocks, and you're thinking, okay, those characters are, even if they're behind cover, right? Because if like say they're 3 inches but they're like behind a out of line of sight, right? You can Astral Blast that unit, assuming that character takes the mortal wound. You can then use the Cabal Point power to make it take an additional D3 mortal wounds, because you don't have to do the Cabal Point D3 mortals to the target of the spell. You just have to do it to a model that took mortals from the spell. So in Astral Blast case, because it has that pulse where everything within 3 inches takes a mortal, you can actually pick any of those units that took a single mortal to take the additional D3, right? And then with the other, with Kabbalistic Focus, you can cast that again. So you can, it's a Witchfire spell, so you can cast that a second time, which means theoretically you could, a character that's hiding that you don't even see, right? You could theoretically do 2 plus D3 mortals to it if you can't see it. And if you can see it, you could do 2 plus D3 plus like a Gaze of Hate plus a Tzeentch's Firestorm. So the sniper ability of the spells with magic, I think, is actually strong. And I think it could catch some people off guard if they're keeping all their characters and other stuff kind of in a bunch. So I was trying to think about how I would run a like I was thinking maybe a Demon Prince or a Cult of Magic detachment with some sort of like basically a character sniper setup. So he would have maybe so this is kind of my thought. It would be like exalted from Cult of Time, Exalted from Cult of Magic on a disc. He'd have Rahati, so he gets to cast 3 spells, right? And then I would give him Zinch's Firestorm. I would give him Gaze of Hate. Those would be the 2 spells that he picks, right? And then his Warlord trait would be an additional spell, which I would take probably Warp Time, right? Or I take something else, and I basically get rid of my Smite into a Warp Time. And then I also give him the Athenian Scrolls. So basically, or actually, no, that's not a good idea. Oh yeah, sorry. So then what he can do, so I give him Zinch's Firestorm, Gaze of Hate, Warp Time instead of Smite, and then he gets an extra spell, so because of his Rahati, because of the Warlord trait, give him Warp Time. He flies up with a disc. He casts Zinch's Firestorm, right? Athenian Scrolls proc. Right, Athenian Scrolls, is that the relic he takes? Yeah, so he takes the Athenian Scrolls, procs Athenian Scrolls, maybe. Then Gaze of Hate. Then Astral Blast does a Pulse Mortal thing, because the Rahati lets him cast 3 spells. And then with a Chaos Familiar, or with a Stratagem, you cast a 4th spell, and you fly him back. So all of a sudden, you have this, like, Cult of Magic, like, snipey, super snipey, character killing, and high damage causing, Thousand Suns dude. So that was the tech, that was the thought. And essentially, you could do 1 plus D3 plus the 9 dice, and then you pick the on 6s or on 5s, plus the 3 on 4 pluses, mortals to a single character that's in line of sight, and then get the fuck out of there, like fly your ass back, right? Now the downside there is if you use your extra mortals on the like if you use your extra mortals and you fail your warp time, then you're fucked because you're out in the open. But that's where obviously like you might have some bodyguard units as well. Anyways, I just thought that was like a cool piece of like tech and strategy for like a sniping character. And again, that was something that like I haven't really been thinking about because I've been so set in my like no like guys, cult of time, that's the only way to go. And I think that's where it's important to like think about these kinds, not just think about like combos, but also think about like gameplay when it comes to like how you're actually going to play the game. Because it's one thing to have like a really cool combo on paper, but the question is like how easy is that going to be to execute, and like are you actually going to have situations where it's going to be needed, right? And I think that's sometimes a harder question to answer. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of that combo wombo? So that's one. Obviously, the Conniving Plate Demon Prince with the Hellforged Axe. Sorry, Hellforged Sword, I think is a nice melee threat. Produces 3 Cabal points. So I don't know. I think about like the big thing with Thousand Suns though is because the characters are so important that like you really got to be super careful with like you really got to be super careful with your characters. And so there's very few opportunities where I'm like feeling comfortable enough to like throw them out. Like it almost has to be guaranteed like combat, and also like ability to get the fuck out of there if things go wrong and like save myself. So if you know, it's one thing to charge up, but like if you don't have an escape plan, you know, it's kind of hard to justify losing like an exalted sorcerer to kill a unit, because you know, it's one thing if you do it like late game, but early game he's going to do so much more damage over the course of the game if he's alive. So like the characters are just not things you want to trade, which means like you got to be really careful not to trade them. Sorry guys, I'm just checking my phone. Anyways, that's kind of like my thought process. So that Demon Prince I like, the Cult of Magic Exalted, doing all that like casting I like. And then the other thing is too, if that character stays somehow still alive, you can then do another spell from another character. You can use the extra Cabal points to cast the same Witchfire again. So you can pulse another Astral Blast if you need to, or another Zinch's Firestorm, or anything else. And here's the cool thing, guys. Here's the cool thing about Kabbalistic Focus, which a lot of people don't catch, which is, so Kabbalistic Focus, it lets you cast, basically, I think it's 8 Cabal points. It lets you pick one of your casters, and they can cast the Witchfire that's already been cast, right? But the thing is, they don't need to know that, they don't have to know that spell. So what that means is I can run Cult of Magic Exalted with Astral Blast and say a Patrol. And after he's done his Astral Blast, I could pick like a Cult of Time or Cult of Duplicity character, use that Kabbalistic Focus and cast Astral Blast with it. Because even though it's a different cult, and even though there's no way he can ever know that spell, the wording of Kabbalistic Focus lets you cast Witchfires from other cults as long as the other cults already cast it. So I could technically cast an I could have one Cult of Magic character that essentially unlocks Astral Blast from using Kabbalistic Focus for all my other characters, which is actually really cool. And it's something that like it's not like I think a lot of people catch that, but it's not yeah, I think it's just a cool way. So you don't necessarily need to have 2 Cult of Magic characters is what I'm saying to pull that off. Just one's enough. Hey Ryan, welcome to the stream, man. Thanks for letting me. Thanks for tuning into the stream yesterday. Appreciate it. I did enjoy talking to Tom. I always he's one of the people that whose opinions I highly respect. He's very smart dude and definitely like knows his shit. Like he has good like like I don't want to say common sense, but he has a good like he just has like good like like I think we have very similar views and like how we approach like a lot of aspects of the hobby. And he just has a good wit, like his good wits about him or something. Like I don't know how to say it, but like maybe Ryan, but maybe not. I don't think there's anything to fact about it. I think it's working exactly as intended. The thing is though, Ryan, that ability, it only works on Witchfires, of which I think there's only, I don't even know how many Witchfires there are within the cult spells. I think there might only be 1 or 2. So it's not like you can do that to every one of the cult spells. It only works on Witchfires. You know what I'm saying? Guys, I've been doing this this is why this army takes so long. How long have I been painting the single trim on the single rubric? And I'm just doing like the first highlight. It's fucked. Absolutely fucked. If you guys are wondering why chaos players are fucking cranky all the time, it's because we're fucking doing shit like this. Like literally all I've done this entire stream is almost painted the trim on a single rubric. It's actually mental. Like each one of these probably takes like an hour the way I do them just to do the trim, because I'm very careful, right? And that's even with them being base coated already and washed. Like I'm doing like the very first highlight. It's mental. Oh, dude, this is why people were like, why aren't you doing all 10 at once? I'm like, well, because I'm probably not going to paint fucking trim for a while after this. Actually, what I'm going to paint next, I'll show you guys what I'm going to paint next. I just decided. So I have an Exalted that I converted up. Oh, fuck. God damn it. Just broke it. I literally glued it back together because it was... well, I'll tell you guys the story in a sec. So stupid. Let me see if I can fix it now. I'll show you guys. Okay, so I have this guy here. I just basically broke the staff, which is fucking hilarious because the reason he has a plastic staff is because the resin staff broke and it's like so tiny. So I was like, fuck, I broke the resin staff. So I'm going to replace it with a plastic staff from the Exalted Sorcerer kit, which is what I went and did. And now I just broke the plastic staff. And I just like, I just snapped it here and I've like plastic glued it back together. So I have Magister Ammon. This is actually going to be my Exalted with Kopesh. He's going to go on, he's not obviously going to be on the space, it's just the paint. He's going to go on the disc. So that's what I'm going to paint next. And this is, so I converted both arms to, and he's all got Armin's backpack as well. Because the backpack he normally comes with is like a 30k backpack, so it's quite like basic. So I wanted him to have a bit more of a cool backpack. 100% chance this staff breaks too, but that's okay. Yeah, I actually have I have like a metal arm and staff kicking, like I have that. Maybe I should see if I can find it. All right, guys, quick, you inspired me. Should I go look for the metal bit? I think I will. So let me grab my metal bits box. You guys thought my Chaos Space Marine bits box was disorganized. Wait till you see my metal bits box. One sec. Oh yeah. All right, so little history, guys. Why I have this fucking box. So when I used to work for Games Workshop, circa 2003, there was a mail order, so you could mail order bits, and yeah, listen to it. You could mail order bits, and for staff, so bits were quite expensive. You could mail order them, but for staff, they were like. You'd get like a crazy discount. You'd pay by weight. You wouldn't actually pay by the bit, so you just pay by weight. Like you'd literally pay, I think it was something like 90 cents for like a, it was like 9 cents a gram or something, or 90 cents a gram. I can't remember. And so back when they had the old big Citadel catalogs, where you like literally had every single bit, which are like amazing, Citadel Annual, I think it was called. And they literally had like every single bit for every model. And everyone had a code, and you could basically, at the store, what we would do is we'd get there's these special sheets for mail order, and you'd basically just fill them out, and you'd say, you know, this bit, here's the code, 5, right? And when you were working for Games Workshop, you didn't give a fuck how expensive it was because you didn't pay by bit. So you'd have a bit that was like an $8 metal bit, but you just paid by weight. So what we used to do at the store is we would literally, like, just for fun, because we're psycho and we have nothing better to do, on slow days, we would sit there with the Citadel Annual, and we would literally just fill out mail orders for bits, because we're like, oh, that's a cool bit, I'll get 5 of those. That's a cool bit, I'll get like 10 of those. And we would just do this over and over, and we'd have sometimes like 3-page orders of bits, and we'd send it off to head office. At the time it was in Oakville, Ontario. Now there's no Canadian head office, but they used to have a mail order, section in the Canadian head office in Oakville. This was like almost like 20 years ago. They eventually closed it all down when this was this was like right when Games Workshop was starting to go kind of south, and as part of their cost cutting, they went to like the one-man stores and they closed down all the HQs. But they also obviously got rid of mail order because they don't do metal. So what I used to do is basically just make these bits orders of full metal things. Like I would order, for instance, you guys want to see this, but I'm gonna make it drag out a little bit longer. Like for my Empire army, I did an Empire army where I had like 60 swordsmen, and I liked a specific metal shield from the Bretonians, so I ordered 100 of those shields. And then there's like a certain sword arm that I wanted every one of my swordsmen to have a certain type of sword from like a different kit, like a Dogs of War kit. So I'd order like 80 of those swords. Now, normally if you did that, that was like $600 of bits just for like one of those swords was like $2 or $2 to $5 retail. But as staff, you just paid by weight, and they didn't weigh very much. So literally I would get like, my biggest bits order ever. This is a story. So I wrote a 4-page bits order, and it was like mental. It ended up being, it cost me $100. So I think it was something like 2 kilograms of bits. So think about that. It was about $100. So to do the math on how much it cost per gram. And I sent it into head office in Ontario, and they literally called my store, like the GW like manager at mail order basically called my store manager and was like, hey, this staff member just put in like a 5-page bits order. Is he actually going to be using all this stuff? Because like the whole point of it was like that staff could order bits at a discount and you do cool conversions. It wasn't just so I could like hoard shit, right? But of course I hoarded stuff because I was like, I might need it one day, who knows? And my manager was like, yeah, he'll use it. But here we are 18 years later, and this is actually just some of it. I still have a lot of it in bags, like literally whole bags of like shields and like swords that's not in here. This is just the 40k stuff. And you gotta remember, I didn't play 40k at the time, so let's open it. Hold on, I gotta get my camera out of the way. So this is like, let me get some of this plastic out. So this is all metal, mostly all metal. My metal bits box. There's a few like random shit in here, but literally I have, like, for instance, I have in here probably like 7 Abaddons, and at one point I ordered 30 Abaddon swords, Drachnians, so I could make a unit of just Chaos Space Marines all with Abaddon swords. Like that was the crazy shit that I did. Yes, we're looking for a metal staff for my sorcerer. So look, here we go. We got an Abaddon sword. 1 Abaddon sword. I got a Malekith. Those are some cool stuff. This is Malekith. Don't know why I ordered them. Have like 4 more of them in here. Some slave girls from Vect. That's a cool bet. Skaven Blood Bowl. What is this? Random Wartime dudes. A bunch of metal Havocs or Raptors. I got a whole bunch of metal Bloodletters, the 5th edition ones in here. Hey Chris, thanks for the thumbs up, man. Lots of like, I used to order lots of shoulder pads, weapons. Like you can see there's tons of shoulder pads in here. This guy, you guys remember this guy? I think he's actually still modern, but he's fine cast. This Demon Prince sword from the 3rd edition Demon Prince. I have probably 20 of these in this bit, like between this and a few other bits boxes. I probably have 20 of these bits because they're such a cool sword, and I wanted this cool demon sword on all my models, so I literally ordered 20 of these swords from the old 3rd edition Demon Prince, and I have like a bunch of them just floating around. This guy's cool. Old, this is Psyker. I think he's like a word Psyker. GW 1991. That's awesome. Abaddon's Claw. Again, I have like 3 or 4 full metal Abaddons in here. It's pretty funny. Ah, look at this. Old Thousand Suns dude. Look at that guy. That's kind of cool. Maybe I'll keep him out and paint him, but he's so small. Let's see. Where's one of my rubrics? Let's do a little size comparison. Yeah, I converted him with a plastic hand, so he's holding a book. Metal book. Look at that, guys. Oh my god, look at that scale creep. Holy shit. He's so small. He's literally, his head literally goes up to the chest of the like other guy. The actual sparring technique. We're looking for a staff. I got some Inquisitor bits. I don't know if you guys remember the game Inquisitor. 54mm. I got some old metal Tiny Marines. This is War Master, War Master Bretonians. I don't even know I have those. I never played War Master. Oh, look at this guy's spear. So sad. Lord of the Ring. This is old. Look at that thing. I think this is actually lead. This is actually lead. I don't know where I got this. Yeah, it could be in the fantasy one. This is my 40k bot. So I'm just gonna see what's in here. I thought maybe there'd be one in here. Not looking like it. Oh, this guy's a really cool model. It's like an old Zine Sorcerer. One of my favorite models of all time. Servitors. If anyone wants actually servitors, I have like a ton of these metal ones. I don't know if anyone plays Inquisitor. This guy's a really cool Inquisitor. Oh, Demon Host. From I don't know what. Look, I actually have Furies in here. Check this out. Metal Furies. I think there's like a whole set, a unit of them. Somewhere in here. On square bases, of course. There's 1, 2, 3. I don't know where the wings went though. 4. Can we do 5? Are there 5 Furies in here? I don't know if I have the wings though, that's the big thing. Okay, not in this bits box. So let's get another set of bits boxes. Oh no, I gotta put this stuff back. If you're wondering why I have two whole Fortune bodies, 3 whole Fortune bodies, it's because I bits ordered these. I don't know what I was gonna do with them. I'll do something with them. It's just the bodies basically. So I don't really know what I can do. Let me make something cool. Lord of the Rings troll. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get some of this stuff. This is a really cool bag. Let's see what we got in here. All right. Oh, there's the fairy wings. I got them. Some cultists, metal cultists, metal flamer. This guy's pretty cool. Cultists. Let's see, put those aside. Cultists. This is the old Chaos Lord from 3rd edition Warhammer, I think. Cultist. Cultist. This guy's really cool. It's like an old Zine champion, Chaos champion. This was sculpted in 1988. That design. Same with this guy. This is an old Corn champion. I think this is around the same time. This guy's really cool. Chaos Sorcerer from Fantasy. Can I see when he was sculpted? No, I think this was 84. Based on the date. Look, I got the Fury wings in here, guys. So maybe I can make those Furies. Chosen champion. Some old heads. This guy's really cool. Zine also old Zine champion. So all of these old metal models, I just bits ordered for like really cheap because they were cool. Cultist. No staff in here. Old metal demonette. Another Abaddon body, obviously. Let me see my Chaos Fantasy box. Oh no, that's not Chaos Fantasy. Yeah, I love the old metal models too. Chaos Hound. I don't know, guys. I don't know if I have a metal staff. I mean, I could convert one. I have stuff like this. I have bits like this. I have like halberds, metal halberds from like Chaos. Oh look, another Demon Prince sword. Nice. Little slave girl I painted up. Old Astroville Vector one. This spear, I have about 30 of these. This is from the old Slaneshi champion on Boob Snake. I have like, I wanted to do a whole army of these, like a unit with like, just basically just this spear. So I ordered like, you can see how they're all bent because they're fucking just, they're thrown in there. Oh, this guy's cool. This is an old War Master. I'm keeping this guy. This guy's definitely gonna go somewhere. This is an old War Master Zine Sorcerer. That's cool. I'm gonna incorporate him somewhere. Gal Miraz, if you guys ever wanted it. See what else we got. Where'd my music go? Oh, it's still fine. Some old Cowtowns. These are actually some of my favorite models ever. These old metal Ungor. Look how cute they were. Like, look at him. He's just a little guy. Like, aw. Look how cute he is. He's just a little dude, like a little goat man. We need more of these in the game. Alright, guys. Look at this guy. He's so cute. Yeah. Alright, I don't think I'm gonna find a staff in here. So let's rock the current staff. We're gonna stick with it. If it breaks. If he dies, he dies. As they say in Rocky. Is there anything else I want to keep out of here while I got this? The problem is like, I don't need any more sorcerer models. And like, a familiar is cool, but like, what am I actually going to use it on? This would have been cool on the Infernal Master. Or sorry, this would have been cool on my Infernal Master. But like, there's no such thing as familiars. Like, that's not a thing, right? Oh. See, the one thing about metal bits, they fucking hurt when you land on your foot. Like, this has got some weight. You don't want to get hit by that. I have full sets of all the metal old Havoc autocannons because autocannons used to be good. What a detour of my painting. You'll notice how easily I will do anything I can not to have to paint more trim. So as much as it was a detour, it was quite fun. All right, I will keep this guy though. All right, where was I? Back to the aspiring champion. Anyways, that was fun. Thanks for doing that with me and hanging out and being patient. I don't know if you guys care about like, Jim, we don't care about your fucking bits box. Go away. But it's always fun to go down the bits box memory lane. Alright. Damn it. I thought maybe magically if I just didn't paint this for a while, the trim would be all done, but it's clearly not. Okay, so anyways, that's my next project after this. God damn it. There's a 100% chance the staff is going to break. It's okay. Alright. I'm switching brushes because I don't like that brush for some reason. There's nothing I can tell you about motivation. Any motivational tricks to paint this much chaos trim? Okay, this one's almost done though. Anyways, that was a fun little bits expedition. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. A boy a day? Dude, that seems insane though. Like, don't you like, doesn't that seem like a really wasteful time as far as like getting getting all the colors out and stuff like that? One thing that I find helps me is audiobooks. So I've been listening to Mortis, which is the Siege of Terra. I don't know if any of you guys have finished it, but once I the problem isn't actually stay painting, it's to sit down. So once I sit down, I'm usually pretty good at not being super distracted, but it's the sitting down that's the hard part for me, because I got a lot going on. Trashbro, where do you live? That's so fucking hot. September, man. Don't tell me Australia. Anyways. Yeah, that's right. One a day. At that level, you need one a week, maybe. Pennsylvania? Damn, dude. Don't you have air conditioning up in there? Get some AC, man. Yeah, I don't know, I'm like, Mortis has been the Horus Heresy book that's taken me the longest to finish. I keep starting it, like I have I think about 6 hours left in the audiobook, but like literally all the other Horus Heresy books I was like way more engaged with. I think the lack of Primarchs is actually a thing. Like there's not much, I don't know, there's not much Primarch stuff happening, and I guess the Primarchs, like, you get a little bit spoiled. It's like it's a lot about like just the human characters, Mortis, and I don't know if that necessarily keeps me as like entertained as like fucking Sanguinius flying his ass into a fucking Titan and killing it, or like, you know, Angron and like Perturabo and you know, all that shit. So that could be like the problem. I don't know though. It's not like, so far the plot, it feels a lot like Titan Death. I'm like, okay, cool, there's Titans. Because Titan Death, there's Titans. And I don't know. I actually gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of like Titan on Titan battle. I never thought it was like, I guess, it's not something that I'm like, I don't know. It's just everything is just over the top with Titan battles. Yeah, Saturnine was so sick with like, there's so much going on with like the strategizing and just like the traps and like, the one cool part is like what Perturabo storyline in Mortis has been cool, because I didn't see that coming. I won't say any more. His kind of, his like shit that he does. But other than that, I mean, I don't know. It just feels like it doesn't feel as epic. I mean, the Titans are cool, but like, I don't really care about Titans, man. For me, the coolness of the Horse Heresy isn't the scale of the battle. Like, you kind of get exhausted. Like, having read the Horse Heresy series, and then obviously I'm reading Siege of Terra, the scale of the battles, just at some point, it just becomes so, you become so numb to it. You become so numb to the scale of the battles that it's like, cool, another like outrageously large battle that like has like, you know, the largest thing of the most ships and whatever. And it's like, for me, the most interesting part of the series has always been the characters, not the battles, right? Like, the battles are cool and there are some really good ones, but like at some point I feel like I want to really get into like the psychology and the really smaller like what's going on at the character level. I am enjoying the stuff with Alenius, is it Pearson, what's his name, Alenius Pearson or whatever. I like that storyline. It's kind of cool because I like that whole, I don't know about you guys, but I do actually like the whole storyline with like the perpetuals and stuff, like with John Grammaticus and stuff. I think that's a cool kind of thread that they've been kind of, I guess, telling that story for a long time, and so I'm excited to see where it goes and how it pays off. So I like that storyline, but like, I don't know, it's hard for me to get attached to the characters because like I know most of them are all gonna die, and outside of the Primarchs, the rest, they're just like not that interesting, you know? Personally, it's just my personal opinion, I guess. I love John Grammaticus, man, my boy. Yeah, so you're thinking, Kelly, you're thinking Unremembered Empire, which is one of the books, where he basically recreates him. I think it's Lionel Johnson and Sanguinius basically create a second Imperium, and then because they think at that point, like, they just assume the Emperor's dead basically, and and obviously the warp storms have not abated at that point. Like, the rune storm is not abated, so they can't know that. They basically, like, the rumor is that the Emperor's dead, that war is basically over. So they start a second Imperium basically in the Ultramar sector, which is largely, I mean, outside of the like the Shadow War and all the Calth, basically the shit that happened down at Calth, like the Ultramar segment is largely untouched, I guess. So it's like a good little base, I guess, for their second Imperium. All All right, let's see here. My favorite book, though, I like Solar War Corps because I liked, like, it. Although it wasn't about the reason I like Solar War is because it really told the story of like the larger scale strategy, I guess, around how Rogel Dorn had planned to like hold the solar system against Horus, and then, you know, like actual epic shit does happen in that book. Like I think that the level of like the conflict, like you don't really hear about the ship to ship fights that much. It's more about like the fleet battles and like the fucking moon and the like all the larger elements of the fleet and kind of how they got to Terra. And I thought that was interesting because that like actually tells you something that you didn't know about the Horus Heresy, which is like, how did Horus take the solar system, right? Like that's a new piece of information that we haven't learned. Whereas like, I don't really care how like any individual battle goes in the Heresy, you know? It's more about like, how did we end up in the state? Because we all know how it ends, right? So for me, the interest isn't in any individual battle, but it's in like the cool things that are unpredictable about how stuff happened overall in the story that we didn't know about. And Andrew, Wrath of Magnus is a perfect example. Like the reason I really like Wrath of Magnus is because it tells you Magnus's story, basically like what he like, and it really kind of gives you that like last real send off to him before he goes full fucking apeshit Primarch, right? Now I can't remember, and if you guys know, let me know in the chat, but does Magnus, what happens to the Thousand Sons after that point, as far as we know? Like, does he reappear? Is there stories of him fighting at Terra basically after that fact, or does he basically just peace out for the rest of the Heresy? It's not quite clear. I don't remember if that's been like, I guess, told, that story, because I know Graham McNeil, I follow Graham McNeil on Twitter, and I know I tweeted him when the book was done, when I finished it, and I basically said, hey, this is amazing. And like he basically said, either he said or someone else said that basically like it was the end of Magnus's story in the Heresy. So I took from that to mean that like basically he doesn't really do much else at this point. He doesn't really have a role to play in the rest of the Heresy as far as like where he goes or like anything like that. I don't know. Do you guys know anything else? Do you guys know any different, I guess? Let me know in the comments. Because I'm curious kind of like what becomes of him. I know at one point, well, one of the things I do know is that their Legion, obviously they got fucking the shit beat out of them at when Prospero got burned, but their fleets actually are in pretty good shape because Magnus basically sent them all away right before the Space Wolves showed up. So they actually have a fairly strong like Space Force. Space Force? What is this, Trump? Yeah, my understanding was he kind of like disappears a little bit. Like he doesn't do a whole lot more. Once, like maybe he goes in like I don't know, is all emo and stuff, and he doesn't want to play, and he just goes and kind of sulks. But like from my understanding, he doesn't actually do a lot more in the Heresy. He's not like Angeron, who's fucking storming the gates of the fucking palace, or like, you know, I'm excited for Warhawk, which is the next book. I don't know if you guys follow, I mentioned I follow Graham McNeil on Twitter. He just said he finished Warhawk, like he tweeted that he just finished Warhawk, which is, I think it's, who's the author? Murphy, what's his name? Something Murphy? Chris Murphy? Is it Chris Murphy? Am I making that up, guys? Is there an author named Chris Murphy? Something Murphy. What is it? Damn it. Why can't I remember? Let's see here. Graham McNeil. Where are you? Graham McNeil. Where is it? Where are you, Graham? I know you. Oh, Chris. Fuck, I'm so dumb. Chris Wright. Chris Wright. There is no Murphy. Chris Wright finished it, and this is what Graham McNeil says. He says, this is Graham McNeil, who literally writes my favorite 40K books. He said, just finished reading Warhawk by Chris Wright, the latest book of the Siege of Terra. It is one of the most astonishing novels I've read in years, epic and emotional, and I don't think I've been as affected by a book since I read Horus Rising at the start of this shared adventure. Like, that's a good review. If Graham McNeil gives you that review for Warhawk, I'm fucking hyped, man. That's gotta be a good book. Like, that's a pretty glowing review. He hasn't been that hyped since Horus Rising. Yeah, I really like, I love the Black Legion and Talon of Horus are like amazing. I also read the Night Lords trilogy by ADB, and honestly, I don't like the Night Lords. They're actually one of the only chapters I've never painted a model. Yeah, Jay, I agree, man. Night Lords is one of the only factions I've never painted. I don't own any Night Lords in my army. I have World Eaters, Black Legion. I have an Iron Warrior even. I have Emperor's Children. I have Thousand Sons. I have Death Guard. So I have a model in my Chaos army of every legion except Night Lords. I've never painted a Night Lords guy for, and I even have Word Bearers. And I just never liked Night Lords, but like he makes it. ADB makes the Night Lords cool. Yeah, Andrew, like that's a fucking good review. He basically, it's like the best book since Horus Rising, and he's like blown away by it. And the cover, have you guys seen the cover? I'll pull it up here. It's fucking amazing. Here we go. Technology. So here's his, I'll show you guys his tweet. Come on. All right, there we go. See that? Look at that cover art, man. That's hype. Fucking Mortarion? He's a fucking chonky Chad. Like a chonga. Look at him. He's huge. Look at Silence, the Scythe. That's mental. Look at the fucking Scythe. That's insane, man. And that's the Khan charging up to fight him. Like, damn, man. And Warhawk, I assume, is the Khan's, like, one of the Khan's, like, names, I guess. Like, it's probably like a just like they call the lion, right? Warhawk maybe is, I think it means, like, the Khan. That's what he's, like, stands for, I presume. But look at that fucking art, man. That's amazing. So, and look at that review. That's a good review, man. And that was August 27th, so it was like 3 days ago. So, very hyped to read this book. The only problem is, and I hope GW doesn't fuck this up again, is last time for Mortis, the audiobook took like, because I'm an audiobook guy, sorry guys. I paint and I listen to audiobooks. I don't actually, when I say I read, I'm reading it, I mean I'm listening to it. That's what I'm secretly meaning. When I listen to the audiobooks, sometimes the audiobooks don't come out at the same time as the hardcover. So I'm hoping that in this case, the softcover, or sorry, the audiobook is released alongside the the hardcover, because I have Audible and I get credits, so like I get the audiobooks for literally like $15 a month. Yeah, I read with my ears. I mean, I read the blurb, I read the chapters, like the names of the chapters. All right, guys, what a unproductive painting session. All I managed to do this whole painting session is do the trim on this single rubric aspiring sorcerer. Should I be depressed? So I'm gonna call it here. It's been actually almost 3 hours of streaming. I know it doesn't feel like it, but this stream's only been on for 2 hours, but the last stream was 45 minutes before it cut off. So in 3 hours of streaming, I managed to paint the trim on the single aspiring I did the first highlight on the single aspiring sorcerer. So that is my plight. It's been a pleasure, guys. I think there's almost 40 people watching at one point, which is amazing. So I really appreciate everyone's support. Like always, guys, if you're enjoying the content, hanging out with me, feel free to share the video, leave a like on the video, like subscribe to the channels, both on Twitch and YouTube. It doesn't cost you anything, really helps me out, makes me feel better about myself, because it means like people are actually watching. I'll be back tomorrow, 6 p.m. I'm going to be doing another hobby stream tomorrow at 6 p.m. and then I'll be off for the weekend. So you should see the schedule go up for next week. Next week, Best Overall Show's back. It'll be back on a special Tuesday night. And then we won't be streaming on Monday because I'm actually away, so no competitive corner next week. But I'll make sure to do an extra hobby stream probably on the Sunday or something like that to make up for it. So with that said, guys, it's been a slice. Thanks so much for hanging out, and yeah, happy hobbying. So